welcome back, and welcome back, Aaron Alblas, Manitoba Liquor Mart. You've been busy doing some mixing here, so we're going to get back to you in just a sec. Very excited to hear what you have. Susan Reese, Manitoba Pork. We set Saturday night on fire. Tell us one more time our recipes here tonight.
Well, we started off with our comfort dishes. We started with a pork pinwheel meatloaf, mildly seasoned lean ground pork that we paired with a nice earthy, fragrant filling. Great prep ahead dish, and great for leftovers as well. We then moved on to our pork, vegetable, and lemongrass soup. Lots of complex flavors in this soup. Just an amazing aroma with the lemongrass, the ginger, garlic, all those great colorful vegetables.
So good.
Also a really awesome, great make ahead dish. And then our flambéed pork medallions with pears was our flame. An elevated dish, but that's super quick to make. Again, mild flavor of pork pairs perfectly with pears and the licorice of the Sambuca and the tarragon.
So good.
The recipes for this show and the complete series of Great Tastes are available on the GreatTastesMB.ca website. And one recipe from today's show will be in the classified section of the Winnipeg Free Press.
Well, Aaron, I don't know if you decided to tee off on the Sambuca at all. It doesn't look like it, but what have you created for us
Yeah,
tonight?
thanks, Des. No Sambuca here. Looking at Susan's recipes at the beginning of the show, I thought, you know, these are a lot of exotic flavors that are also familiar, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to showcase kind of a familiar cocktail, a cider, and as well a beer, but they're not necessarily from the countries you'd expect.
Okay.
Right? So maybe we'll start with the pork pinwheel. I know that apple and pork go really well. Susan, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So what we have right here is we have Savannah dry cider from South Africa. And this is an apple cider, but what's interesting is just like when you're cooking a recipe, they use different varieties of apples that help balance both sweetness and a little bit of a tart flavor. Cool. So it won't overpower the pinwheel. Very good, like I say, dry cider. We'll call it off dry from South Africa. And then we have a big flavor bomb with the lemongrass soup.
Flavor bomb, I love
what
that.
I wanted to do pairing with Susan's soup is really kind of showcase the spiciness. So what we have is we actually have a dark and stormy, which is a very classic cocktail. What a lot of people don't know, a dark and stormy is dark rum with ginger beer, but it has to specifically be Gosling's dark rum from Bermuda.
Really?
Everything else is rum and ginger, okay?
It sounds like the start of a novel. It was a dark and stormy.
You can Google it if you don't believe me, but it's proprietary. Gosling's rum, it was the original dark and stormy. Really? What you have is 2 ounces of dark rum, a little bit sweet, remind you of molasses, but you've got a big focus on ginger. So it should really make the lemongrass pop.
Cool.
And lastly, what we have is we have a beer. So we have something for everyone. And you know, think beer, how exotic is this? This actually comes from Scotland. It's a brewery called Innocent Gun. Mm-hmm. This style of beer is IPA, which is abbreviation for India Pale Ale. India Pale Ale has a level of perceived bitterness because of the hops that are used when making the beer, but hops actually have this, can be a fruity, almost herbal flavor to it. And I think with the Sambuca and the pears and the flambé, with all the heat from the flambé, you might want to cool down with a nice cold beer after.
Geez, Aaron, put some effort into it next time, for goodness sake. That's, well, it all sounds very, very delicious, and I know it's going to work perfectly with all of the wonderful things that we made tonight. It was a very exciting night. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Remember, you can find out everything that we do, all of the recipes here on the show. Just visit us, GreatTastesMB.ca, and we sure hope that you'll join us next Saturday night right here on Great Tastes of Manitoba.
Great Tastes of Manitoba is presented by Manitoba Liquor Mart. Great Tastes is brought to you by GreatTastesMB.ca. Local farms, local foods. Great Taste is sponsored by Manitoba Agriculture. Promotional consideration is provided by the Winnipeg Free Press. We're there for you. Des Daniels Wardrobe provided by Loca Boutique. Aaron Alblas Wardrobe provided in part by Commonwealth Manufacturing. Great Taste is produced in cooperation with participating Manitoba Commodities, Manitoba Agriculture, and Manitoba Liquor Mart. Great Taste is produced by Frank Digital.